It's DUG24. 24 hours, 24 sessions, 24 speakers, 100% Microsoft Dynamics. It's unparalleled, unprecedented, and undeniable fun with your hosts Beau and Bobby Small. Let's get into it with another episode of DUG24.
We're great. We're rolling right along. Rob is queued up and ready to go. Rob, if you want to come off camera.
Absolutely. Sure.
Yeah, we want to take a look at you. I think Beau's got a special, he brought himself a special cowboy hat to commemorate
Howdy, Beau.
Rob joining us, yeah.
Glad
you joined us.
Looks
like you're a sheriff with the star, too. You got the star on. You look like you could be Woody.
And by the way, I've got an old, I don't know if you can see this, but the logo says Microsoft Dynamics way back in the day. It's an old shirt.
I can't stand
up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day. So, hey, that looked like a lot of fun. I wish I could have joined earlier. I heard something about Control I or something like that. That sounds like some cool new shortcut function I want.
Nice. David's?
Alt-I. Yeah.
Alt-I.
I
have alternate eyes, too.
You pull up a vendor and Alt-I, it fills all the information in. It's that's still blowing my mind.
Yep, nice. BC to AD.
I hope we got a lot of people willing to stick around for my favorite topic,
Yeah,
I'm ready for it.
Let's do it, man.
Let me bring up the slide deck. By the way, and again, it's a little early, but I'm just going to tell folks right now. I have 3 slides. I don't like to bore people with a lot of notes on slides. This is almost all live. So let me share my screen here.
Love it. That's why he's a cowboy, man. You don't know slides.
Wild West. Yeah, we're ready for this.
Hey, as our last presenter said, if something didn't go quite right, well, if everything went according to plan, it wouldn't be an adventure, right?
That's right.
All right. So I got to share my screen, don't I? Hang on a second. How do I do that?
Should be upper right corner.
Yep. Okay. Hang on one second while I bring this back up, and we will share. You got to tell me if I'm sharing the right thing here. No, I'm not sharing the right thing. PowerPoint. Touch copy instead. You know what? We're going to back out of here. Cancel. Is there a cancel? Hey, you know what? These new guys like me have never presented before. We struggle with these new concepts.
Well, we're here for you, man. We got you. We're supporting you.
All right.
Giving you all the grace. You take your time.
Rob, by the way, while we're trying to figure that out, I'm happy to see that you're okay after all the storms last week. So,
hey, wait. Those storms are a little further west of me. We've got the storm coming in from the Gulf right now that we're worried about. Bertha.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So that's what we're worried about. That other stuff, those storms hit all the rivers out in the hill country. Yeah. I'm on the coast now, so we're worried about Bertha coming in.
Good luck.
Ask me on Saturday if I'm still around.
Or does Texas roll like Florida? I'm just shocked. I'm always worried about my Florida friends, but when I check in, I'm like, yeah, whatever. They batten down their windows and
Oh no, Houston and Galveston, they get hit hard every single year. Oh yeah.
So I'm not sharing anything yet, am I?
Not seeing it yet.
Not yet.
All right, hang on. I'm going to move this over to here. I'm going to hit where does it share? We're going to do. Come on.
Just don't hit end event.
Yeah, I see that. And by the way, I'm great at doing a presentation with the client and, hey, let me share my screen and then I'm gone.
They shouldn't put those, near the share button.
Yeah.
There's got to be a barrier.
Usability problem.
So we're going to
there's got to be a barrier and multiple questions to get out of it. You have to do some math to get to end the event.
Yeah, all right. So we'll get rid of all this stuff and I'm going to get rid of all this. And we're going to try the slide from the beginning. Hang on, where's slide from the beginning? Let's see that. You got this?
We got it. Yeah.
All right. So the other thing I'm going to do. So again, I only have like 3 slides. So first of all, this is our topic. And by the way, I think I win a prize for the longest title. Using the built-in CRM functionality in Business Central, segments, tasks, interactions, opportunities, and more. I could have put a few more words out there, but I wanted to cut it short. I wanted to get it all on the same page.
Makes a crazy acronym.
You took all the words from your slides and put them on your title.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could have had like 20 slides, but, let's put it all on one. So anyway, this is the CRM function that's already in Business Central. And I also want to emphasize, and we'll go through a couple of the examples later on, but it's not just for the sales team. And let's go to the next slide. And this is a little bit about me. For those of you who are new to the program or haven't seen me around, I got a nice little hat that I like to wear. And, I work for L&L Consulting Services. I'm a senior advisor. I don't like to say I'm a consultant because consultants tend to tell people what to do. I give you opportunities to listen to me. And if you don't want to listen to me, you don't have to do that anymore, and you can still get screwed up and go on your merry way. And then you can come back to me later on and say, what did you say again? So anyway, why I picked this topic. I love to talk about features in Business Central that could get better utilization and give users more value from their investment. This started, by the way, most of the functionality that you're going to see today, I'm not going to talk about agents. I'm not going to talk about AI or anything like that. This is all salespeople using the software. And back in the day when I was a real consultant and I was on the road all the time, I had this philosophy. A shitty day on the road, excuse my French there, a shitty day on the road beat a great day in the office. Because if I was in the office, I wasn't billing. So it didn't matter what the hell was going on out in the world. I just wanted to be out there. And typically they didn't buy, and back in the day it was Nav or Navision, and they didn't buy it because they wanted a CRM package. They wanted it because it was an accounting package and they could do sales orders and shipping and things like that. But after we went live, they'd say, hey, what else can we do to improve our investment value? I'd say, well, there's a CRM functionality out there. And I'd show them how we could use mail merge and send emails out to people. And I replaced a lot of systems. Remember the old ACT system? ACT, A-C-T? That was a CRM package back in the day. I used to show people how to export all their contacts and import them into Business Central or NAV back in the day and start using the CRM functionality in Business Central. So again, I've been talking about this product and this functionality since dinosaurs ruled the earth. And that said, a little bit about my fun facts here are that I've been in the Navision Business Central workspace as both an end user and a partner for 28 years. So if there's users out there, I felt your pain. I spent 12 years on the user side. I got smart and came back to the partner side. I understand. You guys have a lot of pain and frustration out there, and I got tired of dealing with all that. The other fun fact is that I've spent at least one night in all 50 states. So if I meet you and you tell me you're from somewhere, I'm going to tell you, oh, I've been there because I probably have. But that's the fun facts here. Now, I'm going to skip the next slide. We'll come back to that because it's just basically saying thank you for watching. And I'm going to slide this over to here. If I did this right, we're going to go to Business Central. And did I bring Business Central over, or do you not
We
see
see
it?
it. We're in.
Ice. Bubba's Nugget Ice House.
Technology, what an amazing thing when it works, It's just amazing. I guess I'm done. I got the slide over there. We're good. Okay, see you next time.
Presentation's over. We saw it.
Yeah. All right. So again, as I was saying, this is functionality that, people don't really utilize. They don't understand. In fact, a lot of people don't even know that there's something beyond the customer. And the first thing you need to do, if you're watching from home and you want to know, do I have this functionality turned on? There's this little button over here I'm going to click on called Marketing Setup. And if these things aren't turned on and you don't have business relationship codes turned on, you aren't getting this functionality because it doesn't know how to convert a contact to a customer or a contact to a vendor. And we're not going to talk about the bank accounts and employees, but the bottom line is, if you don't have those things turned on, the system doesn't know what to do next. So we're going to get out of here. And I'm going to talk about something for a minute. And I have a lot, by the way, I mentioned I've talked about this for a long time. I have blogs out there. I have all kinds of demos I've done on this stuff. But the bottom line is, a customer is not a customer until they buy something from you. If they haven't bought something from you, they should only be a contact and theoretically a prospect. So we can have two different types of contacts. We can have contacts who are customers and we have contacts who are prospects. And the way you know that I'm going to drill in for a second, and we're going to go to contacts. And in here, you see over to the right, we have this column called contact business relation. And that means this contact is also a customer. And going back to, I heard earlier today, we were talking a little bit about the CRM functionality, the real Microsoft CRM functionality. Well, we don't need any integration. This is already in Business Central. So if I bring up this contact here, and this is the company contact, and I have two different types of contacts. I have a company contact and a person contact. So, oops, brought up the wrong contact. I want to go back to this guy right here. So the Adatum Corporation, if I bring them up here, they are a company contact. And if I want to know the related contacts under it, I see that Jake and Robert are people. If I bring up Jake right now, Jake Elwood, wasn't he a blues singer or something like that? Anyway, he's a person. He is a person who works for this company, Adatum. But Adatum isn't just a contact. They are also a customer. And it's, yeah, I'm trying to create him as a customer. I'm going to go home for a second and bring him up as a customer now. Here's their customer card. So without any magic, this contact is already linked as a customer in Business Central. Now, an important thing that I've said in many of my blogs, there are contacts and there are customers. Who owns the customer? The salesperson doesn't own the customer. The salesperson is the responsibility of the accounting department. This is where all those invoices get sent. And a salesman, regardless of how much he sells, if we can't collect the money, he's worthless to us. He can sell all he wants, but unless we get the money back in the door, that was worthless. He's giving shit away. Again, pardon my French, but again, this customer is the responsibility of the accounts receivable department. The salesperson should never be touching what this address is, because this is where the invoices get sent. And the other thing is, we do have a person out here. This email should be the responsibility of the accounts receivable department, because again, this is where the invoice is going to get emailed. Salespeople should be able to, and I'm going to go back one, should be able to go back to the contact, and they can put in all the contacts they want. They have the contact that they're selling to. They have maybe the contact that's going to approve that purchase. They may have the contact that we're shipping it to. But again, the customer and the person who's going to pay the bill is the responsibility for your accounting department and your accounts receivable people. Now, I mentioned earlier, we're going to go back into the contact list for a minute. And we have different types of contacts out here. They can be a customer, or they can just be no relationship, meaning we've got this customer out here, Alex Rodriguez. He has never bought anything from us. So he at this point is a suspect. He isn't even a prospect, because we probably haven't even sent a quote out to him yet. And we're going to go look at somebody, and this is going to be what we're going to wind up with. I'm going to go down to Bubba's Ice House for a minute. And Bubba is owned by Bubba Hostetler. And this is the guy, this is how your salespeople should be working it. They have this contact out here, not the customer, but the prospect, this contact. And they should be sending out emails, having meetings with this person, sending terms and conditions, sending quotes. This is the way it should look. If you're working your contact, we should be able to see all of this interaction going on with your contact. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm actually going to walk through a new prospect and convert that prospect to a customer down the road. But here's the other thing. Your salespeople probably shouldn't be the ones converting that prospect to a customer. When they're ready to convert this prospect, it should go to your credit department for approval. And there's actually a workflow that you can set up that says, hey, we want to convert this to a customer, and the credit department should be the ones to actually approve it. Now, you can have a small company, and yes, the salespeople can do anything they want. But if you want a tighter control on your organization, the salespeople shouldn't be creating that customer. So let's go on. I'm going to create we're going to pretend like we got a new customer out here, or a new prospect, sorry, not customer. And I'm going to talk about my favorite restaurant, and that's up in Fort Worth. and they found out that we actually sell furniture, and they're calling out to us, and we're going to set them up. And again, the important thing here is getting information. I can't tell you how many times I've helped one of our customers when they call in and say, I need help. I'm trying to figure out why we're not getting paid. And it turns out that they don't have all the right information, or they have incorrect information. So whoever's putting these contacts in, we need to get the right information, because otherwise we're never going to get the right responses back. So I'm going to put in a new contact. And this contact, it's the restaurant, it's the White Elephant. And I'm going to come out here and I'm going to hit enter to get it. And this is the White Elephant. I'm just going to call it White Elephant. And now that's fine. We've got the company name out here. It says they're a company. But down here, this is the important stuff. Where are they? How do we reach them? So we're going to put in here that this is 106 East Exchange. And that is in Fort Worth, and the zip code is 76164. And we'll put in here Fort Worth. And by the way, if you're looking for a great restaurant in the city of Fort Worth, go down to the Exchange, and I guarantee you're going to get some great food. So we're going to put in their phone number here. And by the way, I know back in the day, people used to put the parentheses around these area codes. How you put data into BC, it should be simple and consistent. And if you use the dash, it's a lot simpler than putting parentheses around here. And just pick a way that is consistent, whether you use the dash or the period. Just make sure everybody's being consistent, because that does help filtering later on. And now, most importantly, we need to get an email address. And for this exercise, because I want to be able to send stuff out, I'm going to put my own personal email on here, because we're going to be sending it out. And you're going to see that we can actually send emails out of the system. So hockey.rob@hotmail.com. And this is the company. Remember, this is the company that we've got out here. But we need to be talking to, who is this person that we're going to be talking to? So we're going to come up to related contacts. And we're going to say we want a new one. And we're going to say this is Tim Love. And Tim is the entrepreneur and the chef at this restaurant. He is phenomenal. He does a great job with rattlesnake and rabbit, and he's even got some good steaks out there. But again, this is the guy we're going to be working with. And if you set this up the way you wanted to, I'm going to point down here, because we set it up to copy all that information, we already have the person associated with the company. Now, at this point, he is still a nothing to us. He's a potential, he's a prospect, and now we need to do something. So one of the things we can do is create an interaction that's out here. So I'm going to go out here and we're going to say, what did we do here? Well, he called us. That's how we got his name. He called us in here. So I'm going to come up here. And again, one of the things I did, I like to personalize so that I don't have to go hunting and pecking. People complain all the time. Oh, I've got to click a button here. I got to click a button there. Well, in this case, I'm going to create an interaction. And in this case, I can do a couple of different things here. When this cup pops up, it usually doesn't take this long, but again, it's a demo, so it's going to be slower than molasses in the upper Great North in the wintertime. Wow. And as our previous presenter saw, sometimes the internet's a little slow. Well, didn't think it was going to be this slow. I may take my camera off for just a second to help that go on.
Go ahead. Good idea.
And where am I? Camera off. All right. Well, let's refresh. Normally don't have a problem with that. And I will tell you, the other thing that I don't like is just doing slides, because I want people to see how this actually works. And of course, maybe I should have paid my internet bill today. And we got a new member joining us. Wow.
Those hamsters are working hard.
Those squirrels are really jumping on it. Oh. Well, while we're talking about this, I'm going to talk a little bit about these interactions. So you can have, oh, what? Didn't like me. Didn't know who I was. All right, I think we're back and we're on this person. And can I create that interaction now? Oh, now it's working better. So a couple of things here. There are these different types of interactions, and I'm just going to go through a couple of them. You see a terms and conditions one. That's one I built. Many of these are right out of the box for from Microsoft. A couple of other ones that you can do: change of address. Yeah, let's say that you've got a new bank you're working with and there's a new lockbox. You can actually send a change of address out to your prospects. I'm not to your prospects, to your customers, saying, "Hey, please start remitting to this this address instead of our old one." But you see, some of these are out here. I'm actually, in this case, just going to say this was an incoming phone call, and I'm going to make a comment out here and say that Tim called for pricing. Furniture. And the other thing is, when you're doing these interactions, you can also evaluate them. And this is not, at this point, we haven't started any campaigns, we haven't started any opportunities, but they're going to come up next. And I'm just going to say that was a positive interaction here, and we're going to finish it. So I have documented that I've actually had some interaction with this guy. Wasn't an email, wasn't anything fancy like that. But the other thing is, it is now logged. And down the road, if I'm the, again, I've got this role center set up here. This is a copy of the out of the box relationship management role center. And you see down here, we can take a look at a couple of things. It also includes the ability to check your pipelines, your opportunities, and also up here, I have interaction log entries. So if I'm wanting to see what I've done, I can come up here. And by the way, you're going to see a whole bunch of interaction logs, but I want to see mine, and I'm going to just filter for me. And I probably didn't put my person on that interaction here. We're going to go find, I did filter on here. I should have changed that, but we're going to go find, because I didn't list that person as my salesperson. So we can take the filter off, and I can put filter on here for Tim. And we didn't find him because, again, I should have go back to here, and we're just going to look for, he was probably a blank. And oh, you know what? I evaluated, and we're just going to filter to positive evaluations. And there's the white elephant, and there it is. And notice I did put a salesperson on here. So why didn't that come in? I'm going to take a look at what my filter is. So by the way, you can build these views. This is an important piece for every salesperson, because they only care about their interactions. And I do see that I did do that correctly. So let's figure out why my original filter on interactions didn't work. We'll get rid of that thing right here, and we're going to take a look at filters and my interactions. What is, oh, let's take a look at the filters here and see what those are. I'm going to reset my filter, and we're going to say salesperson or sales rep. And I'm going to say RD. And now I'm going to save that again. And now let's go back and see if I can't find Tim again. And there it is, the white elephant. So I didn't have my filter set, but again, the salespeople can see what they've sent out. They don't have to look at everybody else's. And in case, here's the other thing. You know, a long time ago, I think it was Shakespeare who said, you know, the faintest pen is greater than the best memory. Because again, if you can see it, you can find it, as opposed to you have to remember it. So now, by documenting in Business Central, you already have all this information that's out here. So now, because we've got this interaction going on with this guy, the next thing is, he called in, he said he wants something. I'm going to go back to the interactions for a second. We're going to go back to interaction templates, and I was talking about that. So these templates, many of them come out of the box, but you see one up here called terms and conditions. I mentioned it earlier. I created that. And I said, okay, and we're going to have an attachment that's out here. And that attachment means that when I send this interaction out, it's going to have this attachment. And I'm just going to open that up for a second. Do I want to export it? I'm going to say yes for just a second. Do I want to see it? This is what that terms and conditions looks like. Well, kind of slow. There it is. That's my terms and conditions. So something simple, but you can make this as complex as you want. And I'm not gonna cancel that. Yeah, we'll close that. I don't want to save it. Do you want to import? No. I still have the attachment that's out here. What I wanted to share with you though is that you create these templates and you can create what attachments you want to put out there. So down below, you see a change of address. This would be, as I said, we would be notifying those customers who owe us money. Hey, please send it out. Now, here's where this happens. And this is why I put my own personal email on that. We're going to go back to Tim again. And Tim, remember, is just a prospect at this point. And we're going to bring him back up. I'm going to find him. And why am I not finding him? Let's go back to white elephant. Oh, because I didn't put his name on here. Well, no wonder I can't find Tim. Remember what I said earlier? Very important to put the right information in the right data. All right, so I was so excited to talk about what Tim does for this company. I forgot to put his name in here. All right, here's the beauty of this. We're going to create a new interaction, and this time it's going to be an email, and it's going to have an attachment on there. So I'm going to create this interaction. And what type of interaction is it? It's that terms and conditions. Oops, I don't want that. I want the, oops, let's go back up here, terms and conditions. And terms and conditions, we'll just say for Tim, love. And we're going to go next. And we're just going to finish it. I could put in here, again, this is not for an opportunity. I'm just going to say next, and we're going to go on because I could evaluate it, and I could put comments out here. I'm just going to say merging. Notice this. I'm going to evaluate it, and we're going to say very positive because why would we be sending terms and conditions unless he's into something else? And we'll say finish. All right. Now, the important thing here is that if I go back to my interaction log for a second, you're going to see that it says that I did something. And we'll go back to my interactions. And we'll do it. This time, will I find Tim because I put his name on here? Yeah, look at that. I put Tim's name on and suddenly he's visible. All right, but here's the other thing. Let's go find my email for a second. Let's see if I can find my email. And that was down to hockey.rob. And look at this. 619 just came in. Terms and conditions. And it was sent from Rob at El Sombrero Consulting. That is the company we're working in right now. So if you send something out of Business Central, just pointing out that you can actually send it out, record it, and the customer is going to get it. All very positive stuff. Again, functionality that people don't realize. And again, now we'll close Outlook before all my emails start popping in again. But again, want to point out that interactions are a very good way to identify or track what you're doing in here. Now, we sent that back out. And again, I'm trying to sell everybody on using the relationship management functionality in Business Central. Well, Tim loved our terms and conditions. He says, hey, I'm willing to do business with you guys. Well, let's go back to Tim again. And we're going to go find, now that I can put his name in, now that I got his name in here, it's going to find him. And I can bring him up and say, okay, this is an opportunity for us. We can actually create an opportunity because Tim wants to buy some furniture from us. So I'm going to say opportunity. And what it is, new chairs. I don't know if that's what he wants, but we'll call it new chairs. And I'm going to put my salesperson on here. Again, this time I'm going to remember that it's me. And the other thing is Microsoft out of the box gives you some sales cycles. Sales cycles, and I like to describe it this way. They let you know what you should be doing next in the process. Now, they give you, and I'm going to drill into the sales cycle for just a second, let you see this. They give you new customers and existing customers. Because obviously, if this is a new customer, you got to do some certain things like maybe identify who the buyer is. As I just saw, send out the terms and conditions. Because if it's an existing customer, they already know our terms and conditions. We already know they got good credit. But again, those sales cycles make a difference. what I like to tell when I'm sharing this information with one of my personal customers that we're training on, I say, I like to break it down this way. New sales reps versus existing sales reps, because those existing sales reps, some of them are just, they make it rain. They just know how to go shake the guy's hand, get some money out of him and walk away. Whereas our new sales guys, they have a little trouble saying howdy. So again, you got to give them some guidance out there. But again, today, this exercise, we're going to say it's a new customer. And at this point, I'm going to look at tasks. Are there any tasks out here? No, there are no tasks out here right now. It's a brand new, if you will, opportunity that's out here. The one thing that I would suggest maybe an improvement on is when I activate this first stage, all we're doing is saying we have an opportunity card out there. At this point, it's kind of like an initial. We don't know much about it. We're just going to start working this opportunity. Again, the guy took our terms and conditions and we said, okay, we're ready to do some business. So I'm going to activate that. And it says, would you like to activate that first stage? I'm going to say yes. In here, notice it doesn't tell us what the estimated value is or the calculated value, because at this point, we don't know anything. And for today's exercise, I'm not going to waste my time changing dates and everything like this. The system automatically defaults to today's date. And this is a demo database and it's set to be last June. Don't know why, but I never updated everything. All right. So in here now that we've activated this first stage, there are some tools out here to help our new sales reps or the new process. So now if I click on tasks, I see that there are a couple of key things out here. We need to identify who the key person is, and we need to verify the quality of that opportunity. And these are tasks. So this is something that we need to follow up on if we're to progress along with the opportunity that's out here. And if I'm out here, if I go back out for just a second, and I'm the sales manager for a second, go back to my main menu here for a second, I can see down here that I've got all of these initial opportunities out here and nothing's been done with them yet. So we can click on that and we come down to here and we can find the one that we were just creating. But the bottom line is nothing's actually happened on any of this stuff right here. Oh, and by the way, I picked the existing, so that's not there. Let's go change that to be the next sales cycle and it's new. If I click on this, now I'm going to see that that is the new opportunity. I think it was this one right here. We're going to open this one back up, and that is new chairs. That's the one we haven't started yet. It's in progress. Well, we say it's in progress, but our sales manager knows, hey, he hasn't done squat with that yet. So let's go back. We're going to go back to our opportunities here. And I'm going to go find that opportunity. That was number 7, new chairs here. And I'm actually going to do something now. I'm going to go to those tasks and I'm going to say I did something. So we're going to identify the key people. Actually, it says verify the quality opportunity first. So in order to do that, again, this is something in the system. It's already there to guide you along the way. And we're going to close the opportunity. We're going to say we did it. And it says, do we want to create register interaction? We want to let people know, hey, this is what's happened. I mean, we're talking to the guy and we should know what's going on at this point. So if I say, yes, I want to log that interaction. Well, look at this. What was it? Well, in this case, it was an outgoing phone call. And we're going to put a little comment on here. We're going to say, spoke to Tim and anxious for grand reopening. So he's excited. He wants to buy. And we're now going to evaluate that. It's not, oh, it is now, by the way, this is now part of an opportunity. So we could, if we wanted to say that, it already tracks that as part of the new chairs. We're going to put next because I already got the comment on here, and we're going to evaluate it. We're going to say it's very positive, and we're going to finish that. So now we've got one of our tasks done, but we're still in phase 1. So let's go ahead and finish the other one just so you see how this is going to go. We're just going to come out here. And in this case, I'm not going to do anything more with it other than to say, yes, we'll create the interaction. Again, we'll just say, again, it was it was incoming phone call from the bank. Bank gave approval. And we'll close that. And again, we're going to rate it as very favorable. It's all part of our chairs. And very positive. So we'll finish that. So now that we're done with these tasks, come back to my opportunity for a minute, I'm going to move it to the next level and we're going to update. And at this point, we can now say, hey, when do we think this is going to close? What's our chance of success? And then what's the value? So we're going to estimate the value here about $20,000. And we're going to close it maybe by the end of June. Okay. And if we had any open tasks, if we hadn't done anything, we would have been able to close those, but we're now going to close this. And the minute I do that, now I've got that, we've got an estimated value out here. It's calculated based on 20% chance of closing, that we have a current value of $4,000. And more importantly, if we're back at our main menu and we're in our pipeline now, and I go to, where's my initials, qualifications, that should be number 7. It's right here. It's moved on. And we're tracking the progress that's going on out here. Now, at this point, we're trying to sell this stuff. And I'm going to skip a couple of steps because we could continue on and you can see how we do more of that. But again, you get the flavor for what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to come back down to here. And at this point, by the way, you can control what is required next. Well, in this case, the guy is so anxious. He says, hey, create me a quote. We'll say, okay, we're going to create a quote. Do you want to create a quote? Now, remember, this guy is not a customer. He's a prospect for us. And do you want to use a customer template? That means, yes, I want to pick the type of customer I'm going to create, but I do not want to create him as a customer. So I'm going to use him as a customer template. And what kind is he? Well, he's a Houston customer. So we'll say this. I'm going to say, okay. And I didn't mean to click yes. I should not have done that. But at this point, you get the flavor that I didn't want him as a customer yet. Sorry about that, folks. I spoiled some of the things to come ahead. At this point, we're going to put in here the chairs. I'll put some chairs on here. He likes Paris. He's from France. We'll put in 25. And actually, it's 250 because we want to get to the 125 because we want to get to that $20,000 out here. So I got this quote that's out here, and it's tied to an opportunity at this point. And so right now, if I get out of here, I'm going to go back to my main menu for a minute. You see that I've got a quote out here. I'm going to go back to the main menu so that people can see we're moving along here. He is still, he's still at phase 2. But the minute I go back to my opportunity now, I can say I want to move that up. And we're going to say update it to the presentation. We've already got the quote that's out here. And notice it's now saying I got a 50% chance if I've got the quote. But I'm going to change that because I'm saying, well, if I've got the quote, I think I'm 75% there. And we'll say, okay. And we're going to close again, still on the 30th. And we'll say, okay. Now, at this point, I can go create more interactions that are out here. But here's the thing I forgot to do. I want to show that quote. I forgot to do this. I should have sent that email out to him. Send it by email. I'm going to create that. And when it pops up, it's going to hockey.rob again. Here's my quote for 24,100. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close that. I'm going to send the email. And now let's go look at a couple of things out here because I've got that set up. Interaction logs. And let's go to Rob's interactions again. And we will probably scroll to the bottom. And look at that. There is our interaction indicating that we've sent the quote out. Well, did the quote really go out? Let's go take a look at Rob's email again. And let's go down to hockey.rob. And it's probably a little slow. We'll come back to that. But it should be coming in any moment. Oh, not quite. We'll come back to that. Anyway, all I'm pointing out is, again, all of this stuff is being done in Business Central and communicating directly with the customer. Let's go back now, and I want to do something here. We're going to convert that. Oh, email just came in. Let's go back to that, and look at that. Quote.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. You know, I gave up, and it comes back in. And there you go. We'll take a look at the quote, and there's your quote, just like I said. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, I need to change my logo. I need to have El Sombrero up there. All right. So let's go back into here. So now at this point, we've walked through the opportunity. I think I've updated it. Let's go to presentation mode. There's number 7. We're in good shape, 75%. That's that new chairs that we're doing. And now, again, this is where when we convert that quote to an order, that's normally where you would be. And again, I jumped the gun. I converted them to a customer beforehand. But now we're going to convert that quote let's go back to my home here for a second and make this an order. And normally, if this was not a customer yet, it would say, do you want to convert this to a customer? And that's where your credit department would have to step in and say, yes, we approve him with this kind of credit limit. So we'll go ahead and, by the way, I'm going to say no. I'm going to create the order, and we'll say the date is going to be the 30th, 0630. Yeah. And now we'll go ahead and we will convert that to an order. And the order, yes, we want to, do you want to open the new order? Yeah, I'm going to open the new order. So now, oh, grabbed the wrong quote. Oh, you know what? Wasn't paying attention, and shame on me. Let's go back. That was the wrong quote. So we wanted this quote right here. Boy, we're making all kinds of money today. I just sold another thing I didn't know I sold. So anyway, here it is. This is Tim Love. There's his 125 chairs. But before we do that, let's take a look at what we got available. I'm going to take a quick look at my inventory. And again, this is all within Business Central. I wouldn't know if I was in CRM what my true availability was. We're going to show details here. We're going to take a look at how many we got on hand. Oh, crap. I only have 13 on hand. Let's see if they're all available in that location. I only have 10 in that location. We'll take a quick look here. I only have 10 in the main location. So let's go ahead. We're going to do something here. Go back to my order. I've got the order here. I didn't convert it yet, but we'll say we are now going to convert that to an order. Yes, and we're going to close that opportunity because remember, this is all tied to that opportunity. So we'll say yes, and we won it. And how did we win it? Great salesperson. Closed up. I have to put a code in here. How about that? Competent consultant. So we're going to say good, close any old tasks that are out here, and it's been converted to an order. And we're going to open that new order. And now remember, I only have 13. So for now, I'm only going to ship 13. And we're going to, we can send the email, or I'm just going to post that order, the shipment part of it. Let's go back. Can I post ship an invoice? I'm only set up to ship. Darn it. Oh, well, should have checked to see if my posting setups are correct. Bottom line here is I now would have sent that out to the customer, and I could have emailed the invoice out. But again, more importantly now, who gets the invoice? Because it shouldn't be Tim. He's the guy who's buying it. He's probably not the one who's going to be paying it. There should be somebody else that out here. We should have put in a new payment out here, a new contact out here for that. Who is the contact who's paying the bill? Again, we've got a contact who's buying it. We got a contact who's receiving it. We got the contact who's going to pay it. Now, let's go back for a second, because I mentioned earlier that there's other functionality that's out here. Let's go take a look at something. I'm going to back here to a minute. Oops, get out of here for a second. I want to go to segments. This is a very valuable tool that nobody, doesn't matter if you're using other CRM packages. This is a really cool function. We're going to go to active segments for a minute. And I talk about this all the time for a couple of things. First of all, if you're a manufacturer and you have things that might get recalled, this is an excellent opportunity to find out who bought during a certain time period. I'm also going to talk about something I experienced on the end user side. After being a consultant for a number of years, one of my clients hired me back in the day, and we were a distributor for a manufacturer, high-end global positioning equipment. And that high-end global positioning equipment came with a 1-year warranty. But we got incented to sell extended warranties. Our salespeople made so much money on the regular sale of the product, they didn't have time to spend on extended warranties because it was just a small dollar amount. We were at the bottom of the dealer chain in selling extended warranties. And when I came on board, I said, well, why aren't we selling extended warranties? And the sales guy said, oh, it's too hard to find who we sold to a year ago. I said, no, not at all. Let me show you this functionality. So first of all, let's go out and we're going to go look at an item sales statistics report for a minute. Customer item sales. What do we want to sell? No, I don't care about that. We're just going to send this to data only. Oh, crap. All right, we're going to open that up. Okay. Oh, that's not what I want. All right. Not the report I wanted. Well, let's go do this. We're going to do it a different way. I'm just going to go into my items. And we're going to look at quantity sold. So let's look at, we'll get these chairs. I'm going to drill into the chairs for a minute, and we're going to move you guys out of the way. And let's go here. We're going to drill into my quantity on hand for a second. And we're going to filter just on items. I'm sorry, just on sales. Your type of sale. And this tells me the date and what I sold. Doesn't matter. I can get rid of anything. I can get rid of all my filters. I can show myself filters and say, get rid of the item. And this is every item that I ever sold. But notice I sold this particular chair, or whatever this is. What is it? It's a chair on the 21st of March 2024. Let's say now that we had a recall on that for that one time period. We're going to go back, and this is where the power of that segment comes in. Remember, it can be looking at anything you want, but I'm going to say recall, new, and we're going to say recall, chair recall. And it doesn't, I'm going to put me as the salesperson. And I'm going to go out here, and this is really cool. Now, again, if I had some kind of letter that I wanted to put in here, an attachment that said, dear Mr. Customer, due to manufacturer's recall, we're recalling this chair. Please be concerned about this. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you that we can bring in the customers who bought chairs on that date. So I'm going to go down to here, and this is the power. I can pick customers. I can pick contacts. I can pick just about anything associated with those sales or people who we're dealing with. And I'm going to come down to here, and I only want to get, first of all, I only want to deal with customers. I don't care about the vendors. And I only care about the posting date of 03/21/24. 03/21/24. So I'm only looking at items I sold on that date because there was something that was bad that happened on that date. And remember, we sold that 1972 item. And chair recall. And let's go find out what this was. We're going to go back to Adatum a minute. Show us details. Go to my customer. I'm going the roundabout way to get there for a minute. Hang on. Go back to here. Contact and my customer. And we're going to go see if they bought something on that day. Customer ledger entries, the 21st. Filter that date. Oops. Posting date of 03/21/24. Let's see what they bought. Where's my invoice? There it is. There's the chairs they bought. So again, I'm looking, and again, remember, this is, I picked a specific date. You can pick a specific item and a date, but that's the power of this. Now, that's somebody else outside of sales doing the recall, because the sales guy doesn't care about recalls. Somebody in customer satisfaction or client services or something like that is looking for that. But here's the other thing. Let's go take a look at something for a second. I like to do this too. We have people doing collection calls. And I'm going to go look at my sales, my customers for a minute. Let's go back and look at customers. And I see that Bubba's Ice House owes us $804,000. I mean, holy crap. So we're going to go back. And well, actually, they're not overdue, though. So they're okay. But this School of Fine Arts, Megan hasn't been paying her bills. Let's go find out what's going on with Megan. So we're going to go to Megan for a minute. And do we have any interactions? Cover sheet? Nope. We're gonna make a phone call to her. This is our collection people now. They're calling her and they're gonna create an interaction. And what's our interaction? It's oh, we don't have one for these guys. Oh shoot. Have a collection one? I don't. Darn. Let me try this. We're gonna do this real quick on the fly. Oh, there is a collection one. All right, we're gonna go back. So we're going to do a collection. I, by the way, I made this up, so this wasn't standard, but there's a collection call. And now we're going to say next. and we're going to say, we're going to put a comment on here. And Megan said no money. Said the cover Bruce Bear. All right. So now what do we do here? Well, we also have to rate that. And we're going to say that was negative, very negative. Okay. Now, if we're tracking all these collection calls and we're evaluating who's good and who's bad, we ought to be able to have some way to find all of these. So let's go back to our segments for a minute. Again, this isn't the salespeople doing these segments. So we're going to go back to segments. And how come I can't find it out here? Where's segments? Here we go, segments. And do I have a collection call? No, I don't have a collection call. So we're going to make one up. New collection call. Follow-ups. All right. And now in this case, I wouldn't be the salesperson, it'd be whoever was the collection person. But for today's exercise, I'll do this. And here's what we want to do. We want to add contacts. And what do we want to do? We want to look at interactions. So let's go down to our interactions for a minute. And we don't know the date or anything. We only care about very negative. And we can also say that we're only looking at collection ones. Here's my collection. So two things here. We could have very negative valuations on different parts of the sales piece. But in this case, this is just an interaction based on a collection call. And it's very negative. So we're going to say okay out here. And there it is. Look at that. We found the people who said they have very bad, collection rate or whatever our accounting people said was a problem for us. So again, here's functionality that even if you're using CRM, Microsoft CRM, this stuff is outside of what they do. They can't give you this kind of stuff. This is our accounting department using it for that purpose. I can't emphasize enough. And by the way, everybody's talking about agents and Copilot and things like that. I got to tell you, I can't say what's coming down the road, but I've got to imagine that Microsoft is going to be giving us some ability to put some more of that Copilot and agent functionality into the CRM that we have here. I mean, I'm just talking, this is stuff, most of this functionality has been in the product since about 2004, 2005. Back when I started my philosophy of a shitty day on the road beats a great day in the office. So again, are there any questions out there so far, or anybody coming in comments about what they didn't like, what they don't like? I'm also going to give one more example of why this is not just for the CRM or not just for the salespeople. I mentioned earlier, I had a couple of clients who were changing locations. They were moving. In fact, they were moving out of state, and they needed to send communication out to their customers that owed money. They didn't want to send this out to the people who didn't owe money. They just wanted to send it to people who were owing the money. So going back to adding contacts, by the way, let me get back out of here. I don't know which ones I've got. Do I have another one out here? Increase sales, working collection calls. No, we'll create another one. And this time we'll say change of address. And we'll put me out here again. And here's the key, as long as the contacts that we bring into this little segment have an email address, if I put something out here, and I'm going to see if I have change of address, and this is going to be an outflow, outbound, and subject matter, change of address. And let's go back down to here. What do I want to do? Is there anything else I want to put? I'm not going to put anything in here for a second. I'm going to add contacts, and I only want to pull customers. So let's go down to here. Where's my interaction template? Industry group, business relationship, just customers. And so as long as I've got some attachment out here, we're going to take a look and see what we got. We'll make sure I hope I'm in here too. White Elephant is in here. So let's go take a look at something for a second. Where's my attachment? Change of address template. Let's go take a look at what this says. Show details. Yes, here's my attachment. Yes, I'll edit it real quick. And the only reason I'm open this is saying, hey, please, in fact, notice again, change of address, blah, 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 whatever. We'll close that. And again, I'm going to say, no, I don't want to do anything. So we're going to go back, just pointing it out. I'm going to get rid of all these other contacts because I can't guarantee that those emails are going to fly. And I'll just leave Tim in here for a second. Delete those lines. And now here's the magic of this. When I hit, where's my action out here? Oh, I'm hit log. As soon as I hit log, it would send this email with those attachments to every one of the people in here. Again, as long as, and let's go back. Am I showing my email address out here? There you go. All right. So as long as that's in there, we're going to log that, send the attachment. Yep. And it's been logged. And again, now I should be getting an email in a couple of minutes saying, hey, by the way, start sending your email, your monies over to this thing. Again, great functionality for the sales team, but it goes beyond. And the other thing is, I didn't even talk about what the purchasing side can do. When the purchasing side sends out purchase quotes, these same types of things can be tracked in their interactions, tracking them, follow-ups and things like that. I didn't even cover how you can follow up on that stuff. We got about 12 minutes left. How long was I supposed to talk, Bobby?
Got about like 6 or 7 minutes left.
Yeah. Just give us time to get the next person up. So you got about 6 or 7 minutes, Rob.
Okay. Let's see what else I can do. Oh, well, so the other thing that this
We got time for one more segment. I'll save myself out. A bad joke.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, well, okay. But the other thing it does, and I didn't even plan to talk about this because I guess I just want that beer. I can't wait till I'm done here. But I guess I was talking too fast. The other thing it does is we can set up pricing. So special prices, like let's say we've got a discontinuation or we got a damage sale. There was a hurricane came down, knocked out some windows in our warehouse and some stuff got damaged. So we're marking stuff off 50%. And we only want to send it to certain customers. We can set up, if you will, campaign pricing. And I'll just briefly talk about that. We'll get back out of here and I'll go to my campaigns for a minute. And in here, we'll take a look at this more pricing one that I've got out here. So again, you can set up, and here's the other thing I talk all the time about. If you tell somebody they got special pricing, that sucks. I'll tell you why it sucks. Because they think they got special pricing and they have no idea how much you're giving them off. You should always give people a discounted percent because then they see how much they get. If you don't tell them how much they're getting off, they have no clue. Now, if you're only giving them a nickel or a penny off, yeah, fine, give them that special price. But if you really want them to see the value of the discount, show them the discount. And this campaign gives you both options. You can set prices or you can set discounts. We can come out here to my sales price or we can go out to my line discounts. This is a much more attractive way to present to your customers because then they can see you're giving them something. I have always said if you give something away for free, it has no value. So when you just give them a set price, they have no idea what you've given them. Just that, oh, that's my price. Well, how much did you save? Oh, I don't know. That's my price. Again, then they can talk about it. Now, the other thing is with a campaign, you get to pick who gets this pricing. You set the date range that's out here, how long it is. And then we come over to our campaign because you got to set this up with a segment too. And if I go back to my campaign for a second, we'll go take a look at my segment. And this is the people who are in here. So only the people that are associated with this particular campaign pricing get that. And you can send an email out going, hey, customer, just like I did before, going, hey, Beau, thanks for that reminder. Yeah, just send another segment out and we're good to go. But, again, we can send an attachment out here saying a limited time only. Again, this is special pricing because it only extends out till the campaign is over. And the other thing is you can set up on here. And again, I didn't even talk about dimensions, but you can set up on here. If we go back to my campaign for a minute, back to the campaign, I can set up a dimension. Let's go back to my dimension, and I can see how effective this particular campaign was when I actually make sales on here, because that dimension value, that lamps 2025, will post in on every sale and cost of sale transaction associated with the campaign. So again, not only do we get the selected customers that are out there with a selected discount, not price, but we also get to see the margin that's in the BC too. And if you set up your general ledger setup correctly, that discount can go into a separate GL account rather than just a net price again. So again, you're tracking what the gross price was, the discounted price, and what your true cost of the item was. So again, and this again is part of standard functionality. Everything I've covered is part of your general your non-essentials license, or I'm sorry, non-premium license. It is part of the essentials license in Business Central. One last thing. So going back to our contacts for a moment. Man, all these people coming in for the next show. I wish they were here for my show. We go back to Jake for a second. We're Tim Love here. So all those interactions that I was doing out here, again, this is where you get to see what has been done. When was the last time I touched this customer? And that's another important thing. Sometimes we get so caught up in some of the new stuff going on that we forget about loyal customers and the last time we talked with them. But I'm also going to share something else. One of my roles back in the day, they thought because I was a good consultant, I'd be a great account manager. I could just generate more sales. My problem was I was outselling what my consultants could do because I knew the product. So they had to take me off. I was using this functionality and the other guys on the account management side weren't. And I could track and follow and take those interactions and track what conversations I had. I would track when people had like vacations and stuff like that, coming back and saying, hey, you were on vacation. How'd it go? Last time we chatted, we were looking for this kind of functionality. You still need that. This is the type of stuff, as I said early on, the faintest pen is better than the greatest memory, because again, if you see it, you've got it. You're never going to lose it. Just like these interactions I'm tracking here. And all of these comments, where you see these comments that are out here, let's go take a look. I see them. Bank gave approval. If I come back down to here for a minute, for this one right here, it said Tim was anxious for the grand reopening. I'm going to see all of those things, and it's going to help me sell more, or it's going to help our salespeople sell more, hopefully. All right, I got 5 minutes. What else we got? I'm kind of done talking. Sorry.
No, this is perfect. We've got. If anybody has a question that hasn't been answered, we can drop it in the chat. It's been a great session, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to you. Very good job.
Howdy, Beau. Hey, Bobby, thanks for the hat. I appreciate you wearing the hat today.
Yeah, we've been cycling a few hats in and out. I don't pull my cowboy hat. I'm not sure this is really a cowboy hat, but we'll call it a hat. That's not Western. A baseball cap. How about that?
Better than a baseball cap. Absolutely. Hey, by the way,
I'm going to mention this again. We'll have all these recordings up, so we'll be chopping and slicing and dicing and getting these up on our YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for all of this great content to be up. So, Rob, those that didn't get to see it today, I'll get to see it again on our YouTube channel, which gets a lot of play. So we're looking forward to share this out to the folks that weren't able to make it.
Hey, Bobby, one more thing, and Beau too. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about this little used functionality. Hopefully some people, when they either saw it today or view it in the YouTube channel, will say, hey, I could use some of that. So again, oh, by the way, I think I've got one more slide. Let's see if I can bring that back up. Next slide. Well, that's what we covered. Hey, I didn't even realize I had another slide out there. But this is the final one. That's the final one. Did want to cover all the slides. You got
them, man.
Rob, you can definitely tell you're MCT certified on just being able to riff out there, and an endless engine. So it's inspiring, honestly. So
I said
really
to Beau,
great
I said
job.
we're gonna have to hold up a card, because Rob it'll be like 24 hours later, and the Energizer Bunny will still be going, which is awesome. I love it.
All right, you guys have a great night. I really enjoyed the opportunity to do this, so thank you.
Rob,
Let's do it again soon,
man.
Do it again soon.
Always good.
Please, yeah, we will. Same time next year.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Rob.